Welcome children. Take out your geography book. Effects of pollution. Introduction. Environmental pollution is one of the most serious threats facing the world. Today. Today's world is facing environmental pollution, and it is the most serious threats. It is affecting the human, animals and marine life. It is affecting all forms of life, that is human beings. It is affecting the human beings, it is affecting the animals and even the marine life. Marine life means life which lives under water. Air, water and soil are all harmed by pollution, are all life supporting system for all the living beings. Now, air, water and soil, these are all harmed. This all get harmed by the pollution, and these are all the life supporting system for the living beings. Badly polluted air can cause illness and can prove fatal for all human beings. Now, too much polluted air, it can cause illness to human beings and can cause too much dangerous for human beings. Polluted water may kill hundreds of fish and other aquatic life. Now, polluted water, what it could do? It can kill hundreds of fishes and even aquatic life, that is the marine life. Pollution of soil reduces the land available for growing food. Now, pollution of soil, what it does? It reduces the land which are available for growing food. Environmental pollution damages our surroundings, gases and smoke in the air, chemicals and other substances. Now, environmental pollution, what it does? It damages all our surroundings, and gases and smoke which are released in the air, that is the chemicals and other substances in water and soil waste on land, they are common forms of pollutant. Now, so what are the common forms of pollutant? That is the gases and smoke in the air, which are gases and smoke which are released from the air, then chemicals and other substances in the water, and the solid waste which are mixed on the land. They are the common forms of pollutant which affect our life. These all affects our life badly. Humans are polluting the air with gas and smoke, poison the water with chemicals and other substances, and damage the soil with too much of fertilizers and pesticides. Now, we the human beings are only responsible for polluting. Now, human beings, what they do? They pollute the air with gases and smoke. They poison the water with chemicals and other substances and damage the soil by using too much of fertilizers and pesticides. We human beings litter the land, disturb the peace of surrounding by machines and motor vehicles that fill the air and by disturbing the noises. Now, we the human beings, what we do? We litter. That means we split the land, we litter the land, disturb the peace of the surrounding by machines, motor vehicles that fill the air by creating noises. We are only harming ourselves and our future generation by polluting our own surrounding. We the human beings, we are only responsible because we are only harming ourselves and our future generations by polluting our surrounding. The government must pass and enforce laws on polluting activity. Now, it is very necessary for the government to pass and enforce some laws on polluting activity. Effects of air pollution. The blanket of air surrounding the earth, example, the atmosphere, plays a vital role in making life possible. Now, blanket of air which surrounds the air, that is the environment or atmosphere. What it does? It plays a very important role to make life possible on earth. It is made up of number of gases. What it is made up of? It is made up of number of gases. Example, nitrogen, oxygen, argon, carbon dioxide, helium, methane, krypton, ammonia and carbon monoxide. Now, all these types of gases, they are responsible. These are number of gases which you will find in the atmosphere. Now, the composition of the air, which when affected by natural calamities or by human activities, result in environmental hazards to the living beings on the earth. Now, the composition of the air, when it gets affected by natural calamities or by the human activities, and what it results in environmental hazards to the living beings on the earth. Increased industrial activities, harmful emission by automobiles and human activities are responsible for the increasing pollutants in the air. Now, harmful emission by automobiles, human activity, these are responsible for increasing the pollution in the air. Chemical reaction in the air have a great influence on the biosphere. Now, chemical reaction which is found in the air, they have great effect on the biosphere. These chemical reactions use the power emitted by the sun to take gases from the air and nutrition from. Now, this chemical reaction which are found in the air, they have great impact on the biosphere, and the chemical reaction, they use the power which are emitted, which comes from the sun, to take the gases from the air and the nutrition from the soil. These reactors are called the biogeochemical cycle. And what are these reactors called? They are called the biogeochemical chemical cycles. Energy, nutrition and basic building blocks of life for all living beings are provided by this. Now, basic energy, nutrition and even the basic building blocks of life, they are needed for all living beings and they are provided by this cycle. The gases, nitrogen, carbon and oxygen play an important role in our. Now see, the gases, that is the carbon dioxide, the nitrogen and the oxygen, they play a very important role in our life. These are the most important biochemical cycle. What are these? They are most important biogeochemical cycle. Nitrogen cycle. Human activities have caused an imbalance in the cycles. For instance, farmers use fertilizers which are rich in it. Now, human activities, what they cause? They cause imbalance in the cycle. For example, farmers what they use? They use fertilizers which are rich in nitrogen. When it rains, nitrogen-rich fertilizers are washed away. When during rain, nitrogen-rich fertilizer, they get washed away and make the ways into stream, ponds, lakes and they make ways into the stream, ponds, lakes and river. As a result, the growth of bacteria and algae increases by nitrogen present in the water. Marine life is thus affected in the same. And for this reason, consequently, what happens? The growth of bacteria and the presence of algae, they increases which are increased by the nitrogen present in the water. And marine life, it also get affected by the same. Carbon and oxygen, these support the plants and animals on the earth. Now, carbon and oxygen, they support the plants and animals on the earth. But when these cycles are disturbed by burning fossil fuel such as oil and coal, carbon dioxide is released. But when this cycle gets disturbed, how? When by burning the fossil fuels, that is the coal, oil and coal and oil. And when coal and oil is burned, then carbon dioxide is released into the air. Nearly 5 billions of tons of carbon dioxide near about 5 billion tons of carbon dioxide is released to the air per year, every year, into the atmosphere. Microscopic life in the ocean are called plankton. Now, phytoplankton. Now, see, phytoplankton. What are these? These are microscopic life in the ocean. That is, very tiny creatures in the ocean. They absorb this carbon dioxide and same is released into the atmosphere, and then it is released, and the same it is released into the atmosphere and absorbed by the forest, and these are absorbed by the forest. But the situation gets worse when huge amount of vegetation on the earth is there. But the situation when it gets worse, when too much amount of vegetation on the earth get destroyed. During the process of photosynthesis, these forests release oxygen and take in large amount of carbon dioxide. At the time of photosynthesis, these forests, they releases the oxygen and they take large amount of carbon dioxide. But the depletion of vegetation leads to global. But this depletion of vegetation, what it leads to? It leads to global warming. Thus, global warming, if not controlled, may cause havoc on earth due to climatic changes. Now, for this reason, global warming, if global warming cannot be controlled, then it may cause havoc to the earth due to this climatic changes. Effects of air pollution on human health. We release variety of chemicals into the atmosphere when we burn the fossil fuel. We use every day. Now, we can really, what we do? We, the human beings, release too much of chemicals into the atmosphere. When we burn this fossil fuel, we use that we use every day. We breathe air to life, and we breathe, and what we breathe has a direct impact on us. Now, we breathe, what we do? We breathe air to life, and when we breathe this, they have a direct impact on our health. Breathing polluted air puts you in a higher risk of asthma. Now, when we breathe polluted air, what happens? It gets a higher risk in the asthma problem. It shows asthma problem. We have asthma problem. When exposed to ground ozone for 6 to 7 hours, people suffer from respiratory inflammation. When these polluted air exposed to the ground ozone for 6 to 7 hours, people start suffering from respiratory diseases. Now, air pollutants are mostly carcinogens, and living in polluted sea can put people at risk of cancer. Now, air pollutant, what are these? These are carcinogens. That means it is a substance which are capable of causing cancer in the living tissue, and living in such a polluted area, people can cause cancer. Damages the immune system, endocrine and productive. It even damages the immune system of a body, endocrine and productive system of a high level of air pollution has been associated with higher incidence of heart problem. Now, high level of air pollution, they are related to higher incidence of the heart problem. The toxic chemical released into the air settle into plants and water sources. Now, toxic chemicals which are released into the air, they get settled in the plants and even the water resources. Animals eat contaminated plants and drink the animals. What they do? They eat contaminated plants and even drink the contaminated water. That means the poison when travels up the food chain. Now, this poison when enters the body, they travels the food chain. And with this, I am ending my today's class. Goodbye.